Hello everyone, I'm super excited today. I've got the very inspiring the actress and the lovely actress Miss Madhu Shah with me. She has been an icon in the Indian cinema and she's done numerous breathtaking movies with her elegance, with her charm and strong personality. So where she's done movies such as Roja, Fool or Kate, and there are plenty more to name. So I'm going to be welcoming her to the STJ podcast today, and it's truly a privilege and honor to have her with me today. So, welcome, Madhu, to this episode. Truly grateful that you took out some time to do this with me.
Thank you so much, Siddhant. I'm really, really happy to be here with you.
Okay. So, to begin with, so I just want to begin with, you've seen the evolution of movies, from the 90s to today's time. There's been a lot of changes, but if when we come to about storytelling, you think it's lost its essence along the way, or you think it's gained something, a little bit on that. What is your take on it?
You mean to say the soulful movies
Right.
like that?
Yeah.
I don't, as a human being, as a person that I am, I don't really dwell in the past and I don't analyze things. That's just me. I don't compare.
Okay.
But on the outset, I want to say, if you just ask me what is happening, you see, because of there is so much use of technology,
Yeah.
there's a lot of benefit as well. Many things are possible, many things are achieved, which were not achieved in the past and which was not possible in the past.
Right.
So, in that sense, it's amazing. The the influx of technology and all what science has brought in into our industry, it is amazing. And but there is a little bit of struggle to bring the humanness, the consciousness, the soulfulness, to
Yeah.
keep that going. It's a real challenge for the makers and the creative people in the industry, because when they keep it real, those films also don't achieve the numbers, the business,
Yeah.
because people are so used to glamour and the technology that if you make a movie with just romance, two people talking their heart, those movies don't do well.
Right.
So there has to be that modernization that has to be exploited for people to get success, because in the end money matters, the box office numbers matter.
Right.
If you're not able to bring in the people, the audience and the eyeballs, then there's no point. So
Right.
keeping that in mind, you're doing a lot of things, even from the clothes, even from the makeup, even from everything. You need the technology and the science to glamorize the industry,
Right.
but in doing so, you lose the essence of, you are not able to touch the heart. You're able to touch all the pleasure centers,
Right.
all that rings the dopamine, so called, in the brain. We are all excited to watch, Morocco and Marrakesh, and the whole world is being shown, and everything is so possible. What is happening in LA is possible now here. So, all that is possible, and
Right.
we somehow, the audience feels the need to have all of that, but
Right.
yet when you're sitting there, you come out and say it didn't touch my heart. So
Right.
it's a double edged
Right.
sword kind of a thing. And those producers who are making those movies, 90% of the audience are not watching it. So I don't know how to answer your question.
Right.
I don't go to a theater to watch two people, or like a movie like Saransh.
Right.
Will it really be a hit today? Which
Right.
was like a magna hit back in the
Right.
day. Will it really be a hit today? It's the most amazing film. I do not know. Most soulful, most emotional, most amazing film. Will it make the numbers today? I'm not sure. So how do I say that? And yet, we go to a movie. Movies are not made in lakhs today. It's not even made in a crore or 2 crore, which used to be
Yeah.
big budget
Yeah.
films back in the day. Today, the numbers they're talking about is 100 crores. So
Right.
where are the 100 crores spent on? It's
Right.
not spent on money for the artist or the technician. It's spent on technology.
Right.
So the balance, I suppose, would be the key.
Right.
And I'm a person who believes in chance. I
Right.
believe in rolling with the times. So the key is the balance. You get the science to help you. At the same time, to keep the soul intact. And that is where there are few great people and few great movies being made. Every 100 crore film is not a hit, and every romantic, heartful, soulful film is not a hit. So, somewhere in the middle.
Okay. You know,
I
you
don't know
are.
if I answered your question, but this is my take on it. You can't be that old school completely, and yet you can't resort to AI completely. So, somewhere in the middle.
Right. You've spoken, about balancing and self-care. What does actually fitness mean to you? How important you think is fitness, especially for the younger generation today, in terms of not only physical but mental fitness as well? What is your take on that?
My take is, Siddhant, like nothing is one or the other. Fitness to me does not mean building biceps in the gym.
Mhm.
Fitness to me is how you are, able to wake up in the morning and without feeling lazy, you can
Right.
go to your kitchen and make your own coffee or heat your own water. Because that is not about the energy of walking those few steps. It is a mindset. You wake up with a mindset to be able to perform in this world holistically. Today I know a lot of younger generation who wake up tired because they haven't slept well, they haven't slept long enough, or they haven't slept well enough, or whatever else has happened. They wake up, and then they don't wake up bright eyed, cheery, cheerful. They wake up like, and then somebody is serving them coffee, somebody is keeping their gym clothes ready. Then after 1 hour after waking up, or 2 hours after waking up, they are able to put on their gym clothes, go somewhere into a very high expensive membership place, and then work out with a personal trainer for 1 hour, and then come and say that they've lifted 200, and they did 20 minutes this and 20 minutes that. They come and say all of that, and in the end you will see some very well built muscles on them, but the minute they come back home from the gym, they are padoing in front of the TV. Now, do you think, now you look at that sculpted body that has been worked out by an expert in the gym for 2 hours or 1 hour, but
Mhm.
rest of the day, the before and after, they are not functioning in life like a normal function. And
Right.
what is a normal function? To be able to get up and open the door without
Right.
feeling lazy, to be
Right.
able to drink water, go to fetch your own water. Now, I'm not saying you need to do all of that, but I'm just talking metaphorically. When you're able to do all that, that means you are well. That
Right.
is well-being. So for
Right.
me, fitness is well-being. It is not the time spent in the gym. It is that way I spend every second of my life. Am I able to do everything with energy in my body? And that is fitness for me.
Right. This is a very important point which I want to talk about is, a lot of people today, especially the younger generation, they want quick results. They think, if something doesn't work, they resort to other means. So in terms of, as a person, you've seen success and failure in your long span of career. How do you deal with such situations, and what is that one message you can tell the youngster who's watching us today? That, it's not the end of the world if something fails. It's the beginning. What is that kind of thing which you can, help them and motivate them by you saying it?
I don't believe in hacks. Now, when you switch on your YouTube, from spirituality to fitness to everything, they say three hacks to
Right.
fitness.
Right.
Everything is a hack. The word hack, I have a problem with that, because that means it is shortcuts,
Right.
and there are no shortcuts to life.
Right.
The time spent on everything that you choose to do is your investment to anything.
Right.
It is not that something can be achieved in 10 years. So when you start schooling, there is a way from standard 1 to standard 10, and there are many holidays, there are many tests, and only after you pass standard 10, you passed your high school. Now, can you do 10 years of schooling in 10 days? Are there any hacks to cut down that whole period and do it? I know there are diploma courses that cuts down 3 years into 1 year, but that's called a diploma. It's not called a graduation.
Right.
So there are no hacks in life. What 1 hour of walking can achieve, or whatever so many reps can achieve in a gym, you cannot achieve that in 3 minutes.
Right.
But having said that, anything is better than nothing. I also believe in that. Just because I don't have 1 hour to go to the gym every day does not mean that I cannot do 10 minutes of movement,
Right.
because everything adds on.
Right.
So you get my point? There are no quick fixes, there are no hacks, but that does not mean you do nothing. Just
Right.
because you can't do that does not mean you don't do nothing. So I believe in build up. What is success to me? Every step is a success, because that one step is better than nothing.
Right.
I may have the goal set wherever, but whether I reach that goal today or not, it does not make me feel that I cannot do it at all.
Right.
So for me, progression is success.
Right. Y-
Goal is just a destination.
Right.
But life is a journey. Life is not a destination. Because the minute you reach your destination, you're ready to die.
Right.
But we all have a goal. We all want to be a graduate, but we don't jump from this step to that step. And that is what I want to tell all the youngsters. Goal is a good way to have a direction. Where are you going? So you should know where you are going, because you need to wake up every morning and go on that step. But are you going to reach there today? You don't know that.
Yeah.
But does that mean you don't start at all? No. And that I want to tell you. So don't count your journey as success and failure. You are successful because you are in one step ahead today than where you were yesterday.
Right.
You are only a failure if you've not taken that step.
Right.
You're not a failure because you've not reached where you want to be.
Yeah.
You're a failure if you haven't taken that step.
Right.
Even if you've taken half a step today, you
Right.
are a success,
Right.
because you were half a step behind yesterday. So remember that. The only philosophy I follow in my life is do everything that will make you live 100 good years. 100 good years.
Right.
That is my only ambition in life. 100 years and well. So if I want to live long and if I want to live well, what are the choices I'm going to make today?
Right.
That's my only goal.
Right.
And then anything can happen. Today, I may not get the Oscar award, but if that is my goal, I will work towards it.
Right.
Maybe if I live 100 years, I may get it. But will I get it at the age of 50, 60, 70? I do not know.
Right.
But I want to live long. If a life is long and well lived, you will achieve everything. And that is what Jane Fonda said famously in one of her famous interviews, that if you have lived as long as I have, and this was an interview that she gave when she was 80, and today she's 80 past. She said, if you have lived as long as I have, you have seen many experiences. She has been divorced, she has been a cancer survivor, she's had a hip replacement, she's been through 2 3 divorces, she's a grandmother now. She's seen from bankruptcy to a billionaire status. She's seen it all. So
Right.
what does she say? Live long and live happy,
Right.
and everything else will happen, and that is life. So
You know,
youngsters, I want to tell, I want to focusly tell, but in one line, if I have to say one message: life does not start today and end today.
right.
Life is a journey. So even if you have failed today, don't label yourself as failure.
Right.
Live another day to see another day. Things will happen. You will get your joys. You will get your success.
Right.
Today, just because you failed in a relationship or in your job or as a parent or anything, your life does not end today.
Right.
So have the courage, pick up, live healthy, live happy, live long. Everything will come.
I couldn't agree more with you because I was suffering from type 2 diabetes myself. It was a journey, and I reversed my type 2 diabetes. I'm 3 years now diabetic free. It was basically, when even I'm at work now, I'm more mobile. I don't sit in my desk. I walk up and down. It's just the movement, as you said, the mobility is very important in terms of today's day and age, that people should be more mobile. And our government also is supporting fitness, in terms of whether it's mental health, whether it's physical health. So, everything, for a better life, it's very important because as you suffer, you don't suffer alone, your family suffers with you. So people should
Yeah.
think the that aspect as well. So I couldn't agree more with you. I also believe a lot on women empowerment. I see a lot of people, especially the young women also, who are wanting to get into the profession which you are. What are the kind of attributes one must have? Because we don't have shortage of talent in our country. I think that our country is super talented with the kind of people and it's such a vast population. But what are the kind of, a lot of people don't get chances, or the opportunity. What is the kind of message, or the attributes one must have if they want to follow a profession which you're in?
Whatever profession you want to be, there is a lot of effort, practice, time spent on that in keeping yourself abreast with all the new developments, and where you need to keep yourself ready
Right,
to be able to perform in whichever line. As an actor, you have to upgrade your skill, you have to see, because back in the 90s when I was an actor, things were a bit exaggerated in expression, and I used to think that I was the subtle-most actor,
right,
because before me people were even more exaggerated in performance. But
right,
by the time 90s came, things started to, like, people, there were other actors who were more exaggerated, but I was more subtle, so I had this label of being a very natural actress, and people appreciated me because things started moving.
right.
Now I took a gap, and when I came back to work, my own daughter told me, I took her to the theater to see one of my earlier comeback movies. It was a Rajshri film called Love You, Mr. Kalakar, with
Okay,
Tushar and myself and Amrita Rao.
okay,
When my children went to the theater, they were in school, and they came and told me, I'll never forget that, but that was how I changed. They said, Mama, you're a very old fashioned actor. Now, in my time in the 90s, others were old fashioned.
okay,
I was contemporary. I brought newness to the industry along with other people.
right,
That is why Mani Ratnam's film Roja was such a big success,
right,
because even though it was such an intense role, uh, my performance was more natural and subtle,
right,
which is what I brought then. But back in the 2000, coming forward, my children thought, because they had already seen Preeti Zinta and Priyanka Chopra's movies, they were big fans of these young girls who were very new. I felt they thought I was not relevant to their times. They told me, Mama, you're a very old fashioned actor, when
right,
I took them for something. Now that made me feel that I need to see what is the current world doing and how I needed to change. So I needed to not learn new skills, I needed to unlearn my old patterns.
right,
Many times, keeping with the times, you need to unlearn many things.
right,
Just because what worked for you when you were a young person does not necessarily, in every aspect, emotionally, skillfully, in your business, everything, you need to, apart from learning what is the new thing, you have to also unlearn what is the old thing and keep yourself relevant and
right,
contemporary. And that is the most important thing, uh, in any phase, any field. So, firstly, this was my journey. They must all, whatever profession you choose, whether it is my profession or any profession, whatever is required, the criteria, you must learn and keep yourself totally abreast with what is happening around you.
right,
That is, there is no compromise to that. The girls next to you today as an artist are all of them dancing. So, what is it that you can, either you be on par with everyone else, with your peer, or you have to discover things that is you bring special to the table, which
right,
is better than your peer. So that is something that we all have to work at. Second of all, I'm a very prayerful person. I don't take credit for anything. I'm a person who walks with my hand joined, with only humility and gratitude. And it is not something that I was born with, it is something that I picked up and learned along the way. And from my experience, what I've learned is, no matter how good I am at what I do, eventually you don't know what is coming to you.
right,
And that makes me feel, when I get something, I always feel thank you for the grace, because that I don't know how to manipulate that. It just comes, and only thing is gratitude and humility. And if you can help someone else along the way, genuinely, just to be a softer, gentler human being and not take credit for anything. Just like the good things come upon you, the difficult challenges also come, and you, only if you have faith, you will be able to get through that with a healthy mindset. And that is something. Now, you asked me if people who are interested in coming to my industry and aspiring actors, what do I have to tell them? Always keep yourself prepared that when the opportunity comes, when the chance comes your way, be ready. At
Okay.
that time, don't lose your way. Be ready when you're picked, when the opportunity comes. But if the is the opportunity coming or not, it is a chance. Some call it luck, but I call it grace, and I only pray for grace all the time. And whatever the grace has for me, whatever my destiny has for me, whatever my God wills for me, I accept it. And to accept what is not, you didn't expect it, you wanted more, sometimes you don't get it, what you want is not coming your way, to be able to accept those things in your stride and be happy. That is in your hand. What is coming or not coming is not in your hand, but to be able to be okay, happy, and live your long life so that you are ready. It may not come now. In your 20s, you're aspiring. There are many actors. Baman Irani got his first chance only when he's 50,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
he achieved a superstardom after 50. So many journeys start. I started very early. Arshad Warsi was with me. We've danced together in some stage shows. At that time, I had already got my break. But Arshad Warsi he achieved his Munna Bhai fame and all of that way after I even quit the industry.
Right.
I had quit and gotten married, and that's when his greatness came. But we started together. Did he lose his heart? Because I achieved I got my break way before him. So
Right.
you see, people have their timings at different times, different things happen to different people. To be able to accept what comes your way and be happy. Don't lose heart, don't become bitter, live long, live happy.
Right. You've basically been a part of cinema, spirituality, family, self-growth, but after achieving so much, what truly centers you now?
Uh, that life is a beautiful journey. It's a beautiful painting. I watch it and I cry sometimes. I laugh sometimes. I don't stick to anything very hardcore. I am able to accept anything that comes my way, and very grateful that my life is a wonderful life. It's a blessed life. It's a great life, and for that I'm grateful. I don't take no credit for what comes my way, and that is what I have. My only lesson in life is that I don't take any credit for anything that, but I work. I'm very disciplined. Discipline is destiny. I believe in that, because what I do today is what is going to show on me tomorrow. I don't say आज एक दिन नहीं किया तो क्या फर्क पड़ता है.
Right.
What you do every day, how you spend your time every day, is how your life will reflect in the future. So
Right.
I truly believe discipline is destiny, and that centers me. No matter what my pain has been yesterday, what
Right.
I've cried about yesterday, every morning I get on that yoga mat
Okay.
to pray, to meditate, and to work out, because discipline is destiny, and that centers me. That centers me, that I don't take the credit for all the good that's happening to me, and I don't get disheartened for all the things that don't unfold the way I design. I'm
Right.
waiting to see how life happens, and that centers me.
That's so well said, Madhu. You're such an inspiration. Even I'm learning so many things from you today. It truly inspires me as a person as well. Um, you know, Also, I want to know my last question for today, would be, we as parents, I'm also a father of two girls, so, in today's time, they have their own thought process, they have their own way of working, they have their own, agendas, where probably we are a little bit old school, in terms of bringing them up, but what is the way you think as parents, we can be a part of their lives, try and, not mold them into our way of thinking or giving them the same time at the liberty, their freedom, they can choose whatever they want. But what is the way that we can be more connected? Because today's time, due to technology, mobiles, everyone has the kids especially, they're always with their friends, even when you're having dinner on a table, they are always on the phone. What is the way where we can be probably more connected towards them? What is that kind of things you think as two parents talking would like to discuss on this?
Um, I don't think you can. The someone once asked me, what do you teach your children, what do you tell your children? I say I don't tell them too much. I live my life, and that should be a lesson to them. They should learn from. I don't tell them, come on, get up early and work out. They are young people. They
Right.
are half, they are, I mean, they are in their 20s. I'm in my 50s. I have done exactly what they are doing today 30 years ago. Now,
Right.
today I have learned few things in my life. Now, I cannot say to them, come on, wake up at 6 o'clock and do this. They
Mhm.
live in South Bombay. They live in a very current society with phones in their hand, with their peer. They are going to do exactly what they're doing. And I cannot become too rigid and make them me and see my ways. But I do not stop telling them. I live my way the way I choose. They watch me. Yesterday, I got the greatest appreciation and what you call credit from my daughter, because we were all sitting with some group of women, people, my friends, and all age group. And my daughter tells me, uh, my mom used to tell me when we were very young to do a few things which we did not hear, listen to her. But today, I wish I had listened to her. I would not have had these issues.
Right.
10 years later, she did tell in a group of room that I wish I had listened to my mother 10 years ago when she had told me this not to do. But at that time, they did not listen. They said no, and they did exactly what they did. I did tell them, as parents, it is our duty, our obligation to guide them, to tell them, but we cannot force them. They are my children, but they are God's children. They are soul on their journey. They're going to learn their lessons. And I, as a parent, I'm always going to be there for them.
Right.
At no point in their life or mine will I shun them. Whether they do the right thing or the wrong thing, I will be there. I will tell them what is right and wrong. I will show them by way of living. I do what I preach, and that is very important. You cannot tell your a child not to lie when they have seen you lying over the phone,
Right.
etc. It's very important to live an honest life. It's very important to teach your child what you practice, because what they see is what they will do. And yes, they will register what you tell them. At some point, it will come out, but it's a holistic way. Some you tell, some you show, but most importantly, you are there to hold them through
Right.
everything. You cannot. When they were born, I thought my children will have no pain in their life.
Right.
And that is why I quit my entire work to be
Right.
able to hold them at every step, give them all the joy that wealth can buy, facilities can buy. I thought my children will have everything; they'll be the happiest soul.
Right.
But I learned as a parent, along with your children, you learn how life unfolds. There were certain situations and certain pain that my daughters went through, that with all my know-how, with everything under my possession, I could not make their life easy for them. I could not take away their lessons or their pain from them. And that was my lesson, that life happens for everybody. But yes, we can be there, hold them, hug them, never abandon them. Never tell them, go do your own thing just because they are not you and they don't listen to you and they've made their mistakes. Don't ever abandon them. They are your children. You can be there for them all the time. They will look at you, they will watch you, they will hear you, and they will learn. In the end, they are your own people. They are human beings on their journey.
That's a lovely message also, from your side. Thank you so much. That comes to the end of the episode. Madhu, it was such an inspiration talk. You've opened so many doors, especially for all the viewers watching us today, and you yourself is such an inspiration, so truly grateful to have this candid chat with you and hope to see you in Bombay really soon whenever I'm in the Bay. So
I
look
want to
forward.
tell you also, Siddhant, I've done many podcasts now. I don't do that many
Right,
because I don't want to talk the same thing.
right,
I'm very careful where I talk. And
right.
I'm really, really glad that I am here with you, because I enjoyed the different aspects of my thoughts that you were able to bring out. I really enjoyed this chat. So thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you. It's truly a pleasure, and I'll hope to see you in Bombay really soon. And our coffee is pending. So yeah, I'll see you soon.
And thank you for the sandesh. I've received it.
Great, great. I'm glad you liked it. So, and whenever you do come to Calcutta, also please get in touch, and we'll definitely meet. So,
Lovely.
yeah. So, thank you once again, Madhu. Lovely talking to you again.
Thank you.